Modern Warfare is a game that's very large and difficult to do a review for the entirety of, because it'll take some time to get into the multiplayer, see how the servers hold up, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do something slightly different and do a review for each section. So I played through the entirety of the campaign between this morning and afternoon. The whole thing took me about 5.5 hours, and it's fine. This is the very first level in the game, so there's not going to be a huge amount of spoilers by watching this, but it's a game that tries a wide variety of different things throughout, with a variety of little mini-games to try and do things that are a bit different from other games in the series. There's sections where you do stealth, pretending to be civilians, holstering weapons. That stuff works pretty well. There's a couple of really nice set pieces, including a great one where you have to put flares into a launcher to illuminate the darkness to see groups of enemies approaching the location. That stuff's really good. And then there's parts where you have to take control of a series of cameras and play the game Republic and direct someone of where to go.
Down. We're clear. Copy.
And that's terrible. Or you have to reenact the David fight from The Last of Us, and you have to sneak around a house and stab someone repeatedly. And that's terrible. And there's sections in the game, which I won't show here because they're relatively spoilery, but you kind of feel like the developers had an intended way for you to complete the level,
Echo 3-1 to Blue Viking 5.
and there's only one real way to do it, is that way. There will be times when, like, you'll come under attack from an ambush, say, and you might think to yourself, okay, so I can probably shoot these guys and save some civilians, to pick an example at random. And you'll stand up and try and shoot them. And then you'll get killed instantly. What you're supposed to do is take cover, wait for them to finish shooting civilians, and then you can start shooting them, and your health bar goes back to being able to take more than a single bullet before you die. But somebody doesn't do a good job of teaching you that. Kinda sucks.
Blue Viking 5, this is Echo 3-1. Troops in the open, south gate. You are cleared hot.
Like, there's times when the game just lets you play it, and there's a bit of, I hesitate to call it open world, because it's no bigger than a multiplayer in that, but it actually gives you some freedom in how you want to approach a series of objectives, and it gives you some stealth options, and it gives you abilities to be able to neutralise enemies without being detected, and that all works really great. It's one of the better levels in the entire campaign. And there's a lot of things where you get like the ability to do stuff like call in airstrikes, or you get special weapons to use. They're great. When that stuff is going well, it's amongst the best COD campaigns have been. It's just that there's so many bits where they try and do something a little bit different, where it's like, oh, look at us, isn't our story incredibly edgy? Oh, is that person a suicide bomber? Better shoot them before you get a detonator. Or methods of torture. Like, there's a mini-game where you have to try and avoid dying to waterboarding. Like, that's the sort of thing that no doubt gets them some little outraged people on the internet or something like that, but it just feels in poor taste.
Clear. Force up.
It just feels forced, unnecessary, unwanted. Like, there's a lot of bits in it that are just like, it's not why I'm playing it. It's not why I'm playing a Call of Duty shoot game. If I want that stuff, I go play Spec Ops the line. Playing Modern Warfare, playing COD campaigns to have ridiculous spectacle, to have explosive firefights, amazing set pieces. And like I say, when the set pieces work, they work really well. It's just all of the bits where they try and write some grim, dark, and mature stuff, and it's just miserable. It's not fun to play. It's not fun to experience. And sure, maybe that's the point, is that this stuff is probably realistically miserable. But I don't really need that in my video games. Thanks. So, overall, I'd rate the campaign as a solid eh. Like, there's bits of it that are good. Bits of it that are fun. And then there's a lot of bits that are just, oh, can we just move on to the next bit already? It's worth a playthrough if you end up picking this up for the multiplayer, which I've yet to try. And I'll do reviews for the other parts as we go, but if you're just buying this to play it, well, I was going to say offline, but there's 100 gigs to download if you're playing it offline. But anyway, if you were buying it primarily for the story, I would suggest not. Also, was there a search light on me here or something? Because there... That was my head beam from my headlamp. That's what it was.
Taking them.
Yeah, that's my review for the campaign. It ends up averaging out as fun. And some of the bits are really good. And I'm just going to keep saying that over and over again until I stop recording. Some of it's fine, some of it's not. Some of it's fine, some of it's not. Some of it's